In this program from the textbook, I'm just going to talk a little bit about functions. I'm going to talk about how they get executed, terminology, and a little bit about syntax. So far we just have one main program, and we've written a whole series of statements that go inside the main program. As a programmer, that's not generally what's done. Programs can be thousands and hundreds of thousands of lines of code, so they all can't be in int main. So programs are generally broken into smaller pieces. Each piece is relatively easy to solve, and then the main program can call those individual pieces and kind of put the whole thing together. So in this example, you'll see the main function. Every program has to have a main function. That's where the program execution begins. If you don't have one, your program won't work. And in this case, I have two additional functions, one called first and one called second. The job of first is just to see out, I'm now inside the function first, and the job of second is just to see out, I'm now inside the function second. So let's talk about a little initially. This, what you see right here is actually what's referred to as the function heading and body. This first line is the heading of the function, and this in the curly braces is the body of the function. So here you see the heading of the function, the body of the function, and here's the heading of the main function and the body of the main function. Each of the headings in the functions you'll see have a couple different parts. They have something called the return type. This function does not return a value, so its return type is void. The name of the function, in this case, is first. It can be any valid identifier. And then what's referred to as a parameter list, and that's parentheses that can be empty, or sometimes they'll have information in it. We're just going to look at one that doesn't have any information in it right now. Same thing here. The main, its return type is int, because at the very end of main we return an integer, 0, the name of the function, which is main, and again the parameter list. So what's going to happen when this program begins to execute? It'll start at main, it'll see out, I'm starting in function main. This will execute what's called a function call. You have the name of the function followed by any parameter list. In this case it's just empty parentheses followed by a semicolon. This function call will jump up and execute the first function. Then when the first function ends, it'll come down back to the main program where it left off. It'll execute the second function. Okay, this will jump up here and execute the second function, and then it'll return to the main program and say back in function main again. So I'm going to run this program, and you'll see that's exactly, what happens. I'm starting in function main, I'm now inside first, I'm now inside second, and I'm back in the main program again. Okay, so let's go over the terminology. This is a function, okay, and here we have the heading of the function. Inside the curly braces we have the body of the function. Same thing here, heading and body. And same thing in the main, heading and body. The curly braces are required. And inside our main program we have what are called function calls. This is going to call the first function. It means it's going to jump out and execute it, and this one's going to call the second function. So that's just a little bit about terminology and the syntax and how functions execute.